YouTube, you should be able to see me now. I didn't click apart. Hi, Olufemi Adelaja. My older brother's name is Oluwafemi. Come on in, everyone. How has everybody's day been? I'm still recovering from a sore throat, so hello, everybody. Y'all, hello, Friendzo International. How you doing? Donna Black _78. That's the year I was born. Impact Team 7 King Hamed. Y'all just come up with these usernames and you just come up with usernames. Hi everyone, come on in, say hello when you come in. Say hello, say hello, say hello. Let's talk immigration. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. If it's a case that my firm handles, we can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. Yeah, I can say that in my sleep. Hi, everybody. Your day's still ongoing. Okay, you work. plenty 01. My day was fine. I always tell people I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't. Sometimes I work at 2 a.m. It just depends on. For some reason I'm someone who is able to think and work effectively 9 of midnight during the day, especially when I've had lunch. Everything goes downhill from there. Just forget it. Timothy Jones, especially if I eat heavy stuff. So that's why sometimes it's good that I don't have easy access to Nigerian food, because I would just be tired every day. Anyway, if you guys need to contact our office, number is 334-341-4475. You can also visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Send an email to aos@olalayalawfirm.com. You can text us to our office number, contact us on WhatsApp, subscribe to YouTube channel, like and follow our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. All of that will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Let's talk immigration. So this night I want to talk about, let's see, what time is it? Okay. I want to talk about all things asylum EAD. All things asylum EAD. A lot of people file for asylum. A lot of people who do not qualify for asylum file for asylum, but it is what it is. But let's talk about the changes that have occurred since February this year when you're filing your EAD for a C8 category EAD. So now, C8 is specifically for those who file affirmative asylum cases, or even defensive, but there's a C8, and that is not for those who have already been granted asylee status. Once you've been granted asylee status, you actually don't have to file for an EAD, but some people do, because some employers just don't understand that status alone allows you to work in the United States. But anyway, if you're just joining us, this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration lawyer based in Alabama, and I get that question all the time. So how can you represent someone who's not in Alabama? Immigration is federal practice. So if an attorney is licensed in one state and practices immigration in immigration law, they are able to represent you regardless of what state you live in. In my case, I am licensed in the states of Alabama and New York. So I do immigration. So I can legally and authorized by statute to be able to represent immigration clients, being that it's federal practice. So asylum is filed because you are seeking protection from your home country, generally. Home country or your country of residence. It just depends on what your situation is. Now, in the last administration, they did a whole lot of stuff to make it really difficult for people to file for asylum, number one, to be able to get EADs, number two. They now extended, back then, the time frame, we went from 150 days to 365 days, a whole year, to wait for you to now become eligible to file for EADs where you file for asylum. They wanted to, because a lot of people, truth be told, a lot of people were filing asylum applications just so they could get EADs. Let's call it spade a spade. That's what it was. It still goes on, but it is what it is. And so the last administration, that's what they wanted to stop and try to weed that out. But it now jeopardized those who truly needed to file asylum, had valid, credible evidence grounds, but could not work. They had to wait a year. In comes CASA and ASAP. Based on lawsuits that were filed, so that it now became a case where there was an injunction. If you became a member of ASAP or CASA, then you will still be able to file your EAD application after 150. If your asylum application has been pending for at least 150 days, but the whole application itself must be pending for a total of 180 days before they can take action on your EAD application. February this year, Biden administration has now reversed that, right? Not the administration, but filed lawsuits based on lawsuits. That has now been reversed. And that's why I tell people, if you are on the fence about filing any immigration application or petition, hear me loud and clear. If you are eligible for a petition or application, you do not want to wait, because we don't know what kind of administration we're going to get the next 4 years. This particular administration is very, very pro-immigrant. There are some things that they have been trying to do since January 2021, but keep in mind, for instance, the Senate is equally split. There's a lot of stuff that they cannot do without, being at a 60-40 majority vote. But in whatever areas they're able to make policy changes and reverse stuff, they are doing. So we don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of people are anti-immigrant. That is just the reality of where we'll live, So if the other party comes in next, a lot of things will be changed again. This is when you want to file your application. So now, effective February 2022, you are now back. We're now back to pre-2020 changes where, was it 2018 or 2021? Don't quote me on that. What of the two? Now you do not have to. Everyone who files for asylum is able to file if your EAD C8 I-765 application, as long as your application has been pending, meaning the asylum application itself has been pending for at least 150 days. So basically, your asylum clock has been running for 150 days. And then USCIS will not adjudicate that EAD application before your asylum application itself has been pending for at least 180 days. Now, people are still joining CASA and ASAP. Whenever I start a new application, or even someone retains my services when they have started themselves, I still recommend it just to be on the safe side. However, you're not required right now, based on the change of the policy, you're not required to join or be a member of CASA or ASAP for you to be eligible to file your EAD, your C8 work authorization after your application has been pending 150 days. Everybody can do that now. You're still able to join those associations. That's fine, but everyone gets to file after 150 days. We're no longer waiting for 365 days. As long as you haven't caused any delays or done anything that's going to stop your asylum clock. Example will be if they scheduled you for an interview and you requested to reschedule that interview, then your clock resets and you have to start counting all over again. So keep in mind that there's still the asylum clock, and there's still things that you may do that will halt that and reset the clock. So that is good. All Things Asylum EAD, are you eligible? Yes. Those who filed for asylum after the 1-year statutory period were kind of like barred from being able to file work authorization. Right now, with the reversal of the policy, it does not matter whether you filed your asylum within the first year or you filed outside the statutory period. Everyone is now going to be able to file as long as your case has been pending 150 days, but no decision will be made before 180 days on the EAD. If that's your I-589 has to be pending at least 180 days before USCIS will issue your work authorization C8 category based on your pending asylum application. Now, another thing is this: on the form, the 765 form, there is a part that let me back up. EADs, C8 category EADs used to be discretionary, meaning even if you meet all the requirements, USCIS officers had the sole discretion to decide whether or not to approve your work authorization. With the reversal of this policy, this new policy, they are no longer going to be making it discretionary. As long as you meet all the requirements, the eligibility requirements for the I-765 C8 category, you will be able to get your work authorization. Further, I have some notes on my computer so I don't forget anything. There's another part when it comes to how you entered the country. First of all, keep in mind, if you're filing an initial 765 work authorization based on your pending asylum application, there is no filing fee. Two people actually did theirs on their own. And then, twice it was rejected by USCIS, and then they called my office, and now we're sending it out, and both of them have the EADs now. The easy way to know whether or not the application you're sending to USCIS, the easiest way to know if there is a filing fee for that application or petition is to go on uscis.gov/fee calculator, and it will work you through. You put in the form number, your age, based on what category, the basis for your filing, and it will calculate for you what your filing fee will be. So if you're filing the initial C8 category work permit, there is no filing fee. There is no biometrics fee anymore. It used to be, but they got rid of that as well. So keep that in mind. Now, there's a part on the 765 that would answer whether you enter the country lawfully or not. You're no longer barred from receiving EAD if you entered or attempted to enter U.S. illegally, meaning you coming from port of entry. USCIS is doing away with that. So, people, there are changes going on with this administration that is very, very, it's very motivating and what's the word I'm looking for now? Promising. It's very promising. But unfortunately, reality is, Biden is going to be in office so we are in 2022. So he's almost 2 years. So he's got about, give or take, 2.5 years left. There's a whole lot they're trying to get done. But if you are sitting on the fence about anything, please put in your applications. Do not wait. Do not wait. Do not wait. Now, it used to be that the USCIS was required to process your EADs when you file it within 30 days. They are unfortunately going to be getting rid of that because in the past, those EADs were sent to service centers that also had the machines to produce the cards. Now they're sent to a lockbox. Once it's approved, then they send that approval notice to their card producing office, and that's a different office. So it's not feasible for them anymore to adjudicate and based on the number of pending applications, it's not feasible to adjudicate EADs within 30 days given the circumstances right now. So there are changes that are good, but at the same time, they are also making changes that will make them more effective. And so if your EAD is pending for more than 30 days, C8 EAD is pending for more than 30 days, that's not going to be unusual. So don't pick up the phone and say, hey, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. No, don't do that. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing EADs being, so the one we got today, I believe that was for Mr. Ike's. I think we filed it. It's a valid case. It was filed in March, April, May, June, July. 4 months. There are some things that I'm seeing, and I'm like, okay. My assistant Joanne, she's my executive assistant, and she was like, it looks like there's a whole bunch of immigration mail every single day. It's like, I ain't gonna complain. Like, that's what I mean. To be able to call somebody, like the EAD approval, we don't have the card yet. We filed that in February. The one I posted earlier today, that was filed in February. I think exactly five. It was approved yesterday, so it was filed. The receipt February 11. So exactly 5 months from the date it was received. But y'all don't understand. EAD is not the same thing as green card. I get that, but EAD changes a lot of people's lives. I've got this man whose wife has midlife. Now I'm getting really, really frustrated because you cannot even begin to imagine what immigrants are going through. This guy, they've got kids together, and she's been in control of his life, and it's some things are almost unbelievable. But because there's evidence to back it up, you're like, okay, no, it's not, no one can be that vicious and that mean. But when you see a grown man cry because he has a work permit so that he can finally have an identity in the country and actually work legally and do something that he has a master's degree, but he's been working on the table and doing odd jobs, but now he can actually go to school and come out of the shadows. Y'all don't understand. It is life-changing. It is life-changing. Or for a kid who was, an immigrant's kid, but the parent was subjected to abuse. And because of that, the step-parent refused to file on behalf of the kid. And now they find out about VAL and they're able to, file their own application themselves. And the kid can derive from the parent and have their own social security number and have their own EAD and become somebody and have an identity. That is, there's just no price you can put on that. So that's it about all things asylum. Know what has changed. Know how soon you can. So if you see that your asylum application has been pending for at least 150 days, then that means that you're eligible to file for work authorization, whether or not you are a member of CASA or a member of ASAP. That doesn't matter anymore. And it doesn't matter anymore whether you file your asylum within the first year or you filed outside and statutory period. You're not going to be barred from filing your EAD, even if you didn't file within the first year. And we have a couple of those that we're filing. So good news all around. Okay. All right. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Let's get to questions. Lady BA, so early today. I don't think I'm early. What time do I usually come on? I know it's not before 8:30. Not much I know. Hello, Yomi Dada. How are you doing? He says, you're looking more relaxed than last week. I am looking more relaxed. I am feeling much better. Just ensure you get enough relaxation. I will be out. I'm taking my boys on vacation last week of July. So there are a lot of cases. I know I'm going to be really, really driving everyone on my staff crazy this week and next week, but because I have some deadlines I have to meet, and nothing is going to leave my firm because I have a contract attorney that I work with, but I have OCD because it's my name on everything that leaves that firm. And so I don't trust, I'd rather be the one who made the error and rather than cut somebody's head off for making the error. But anyway, but I will be getting mental recess, Mr. Yomi. Yes. So thank you. I appreciate that. God will continually renew your strength each day. You shall not fail. Amen. Not fall. He will uphold you upon the end of time. I'm your Jesu. Let me just thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Zucker. How are you? Okay. Let me go on. Let's see. Okay, let me go on Instagram. Let me take this out. Let's see. Okay. The number is 334-341-4475. 334. I talk too fast. I know. 334-341-4475. Someone asked me the other day, I should say it in Yoruba. Listen, and to Yoruba, yeah, I'm a lot of number link. But when I talk, because I talk pretty fast, I'm learning not to do that because I've lived in the South so long that now I have some words that I really draw like the Southern drum, but mixed with a Nigerian accent. It's like sometimes I'm in court and people are looking like, not like they don't understand what I'm saying, but like they've never heard anyone sound like me before. It says like, listen, I live in deep, deep South, like deep South. It doesn't get deeper than this. So, yeah. But it's 334-341-447. If you go on our website or my Facebook page or any of the social media, the number is there. Is a police report required for T visa if it's domestic? I don't do T visas at all. T visas trafficking, I don't do it, so I cannot give you any suggestions on that at all. Hello, friends or international. How are you? I'll come back to YouTube and my day was good. Thank you for asking. Olubo, but you called in my office today. Okay, you must have spoken to either Chris or Joanne, so I'm sure someone took care of you. And let me just say this, people. There are a lot of people who will text me on social media and say, "Hey, I called your office. They told me I have to pay for consultation. I just have a quick question." If you ever get a quick question, ask it when we're live. If you've got to talk about your case, that is a consultation. Whether it's one question or 10 questions, it is what it is. You don't make a quick question to you. Oh, I'm going to call my doctor's office. A quick question. If you call a plumber and say, "Hey, I know there's a leak in my house. Just tell me how much it's going to be." No, they ain't going to tell you nothing. They're going to come to your house and they're going to charge you for coming down to your house to figure out what's wrong. And then they'll charge you for what the repair is going to be. So, a lawyer's office is not different. I can respond to your, "Hey, how much is your consultation?" and all that. But as far as if you're asking questions on social media, aside from giving suggestions, which I do a lot of information, my response to you will be, you've got to set up a proper paid consultation. That is what it is. So I always say, what you can put a price tag on your freedom and on your stability. Is it 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm murdering your name, but this iPhone is only for photo and video. You have to go on my page on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook to see what it's talking about. iPhone that you can only use to take photos. You can make a call. I'm telling you. I'm sure some USCIS officers in my videos are like, what the hell is this lawyer? Listen, if you can't have fun with this kind of craziness that we deal with, it will. I'm telling you. So you gotta laugh sometimes and just make fun. Hey, Mr. Lee, how are you? Let's see. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Where are you? Do you think, are you in Nigeria or England? You can't be in the United States because nobody's in the morning yet. Yeah, there's nobody in the morning yet in the United States. So you've got to be out of the country. Hey, I got an interesting case that I need help with. Interesting case, I would assume. Okay, you can call our office and we can set up a consultation to discuss your case. Hey, Miss 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, how are you? I think I have not responded to your email. I hope you're feeling better. My apologies. My week has been crazy. So When did I get your email? Yesterday? So it's not 48 hours yet. Okay, but I will respond. So I do criminal defense on family law, and I have those kind of cases set this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in one of our counties tomorrow all day, all morning, I should say, for preliminary hearings. And then Thursday, the same thing. So yeah, so bear with me, people. I will get to. But if it's something that Joanne or Chris or Carla or Giselle can easily answer, I would say email, send an email. Send an email to me if you need a fast response, because I may not get to the phone because I'm in court, but I always have my phone with me and I check my email at least every hour because I have to. That's how I get on my notifications for court. I just did my asylum interview. It is about to expire. Can I wait to get a reply before I renew my EAD? What? No, why would you wait? No. No, there's no reason for you to wait. Go ahead and renew your EAD. I'd rather you renew now so that, if, God forbid something happens and you have to, it's seen as a delay caused by you, then you're going to have to restart your clock. You don't want to do that. Jack and Fam, Biden didn't do anything for immigrants. I understand your frustration, but you have to understand how the system works. If you guys recall, for the most part last year, it was all about immigration reform, all of that. So it's not like Biden can unilaterally just say, hey, you get a green card, you get a green card. It doesn't work that way. The United States is a democratic government. The Congress makes the laws. The president has no power to make any law. The president can propose, and his party members can't help him push the agenda. That's what Democrats spent the better part of last year doing. But you have to understand that when it comes to certain policies, immigration being one of them, for them to be able to pass a new law, they've got to have majority votes. It's easy for it to everything passed in the House of Reps because Democrats easily control that. Where everything stopped was when it got to the Senate floor. Right now, we have 50-50, 50 red, 50 blue. When it comes to immigration policies, it's got to be 60-40. They've got to have a majority for a bill to pass and for that bill to become law. If they don't have a majority, there's nothing that can be done. So Biden cannot do anything as far as by himself change laws. That's why executive orders are put in place that he's trying to stop the whole craziness at the port of entry at Mexican borders, trying to do prosecutorial discretion and getting his secretaries to do for their own departments to put in policies in place. However, all those policies are still being challenged. Even the prosecutorial discretion is still being challenged by the red party. So, and unfortunately, judges are siding with them. I mean, look at what happened with Roe v. Wade. That's being, now, this is not a debate about whether you should do abortion. And I'm just saying something that has been for over 5 decades. But we've got a Republican-controlled Supreme Court. It was easy for that to be overturned. It's the same thing with immigration policies. Biden cannot make a policy. It has to go to Congress. That's why Democrats tried everything they possibly can to include bills that will further the immigration reform in the reconciliation bill. The Senate parliamentarian decided not to. She actually rejected that. If she had allowed it to become the part of the reconciliation bill, then all they would need will be a simple majority, meaning 51, 50. It would have come to 50-50, but then the vice president will be able to be the deciding vote. They couldn't do that. Not because they didn't want to, but they tried. They had plans A, B, C. So there's nothing, I always tell people, put things in perspective. You can't just blame like, oh, this person didn't do anything for immigrants. What the question is, what power do they have? So if the president, if the president decides to just change the laws, then it would not be a democratic government. It would be, I was gonna say, well, I'm from a country where we had dictatorship, so it's not, that's not a secret. But that's not what the United States is about. They've got laws, and they have to, that's what the Constitution says, and that's what has to happen. I hope that helps you put things in perspective for you. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gill. Can test my you being busy. I probably have sent you emails in the middle of like 1 a.m. Some listen. I always tell people, and some of my clients are like, I got your email. You sent an email to me at 1:07 a.m. Like, it don't matter what time I send it to you. You're sleeping. So just when you wake up, just see the email. But if I don't send it, I'll probably forget. Y'all need to have, like, I have my notepad and all that. But if you see my desk here at home and even in the office, I always tell people, if you're trying to figure out what to get me as a gift, Post-it note. I'm so old school. I've got to write things down. I've got to write them down. I have to paste them everywhere. I've got to paste them. Like, I've got to see it. If I don't see it, I would not remember. I don't do text stuff. Like, I have reminders on my phone, and Chris is always only like, okay, do you even listen to it? No, I don't. Because if I don't see it, I don't remember. So I got to be up sometimes. But did you get my email? Miss Joan, did you get my email? I don't want to see your last name. Okay, let me see. Love you back, Miss Lee. That's my girl. I'm telling you, the day I know, so my boys. So I was going to take them to Mexico because in my house, I'm a true African mother. And I was raised by an African mother. My mother, we earned things. Like, my mom would take us out of the country for a vacation, but you had to earn it. Your grades had to earn it. I did the same thing with my boys. So each year for summer vacation, they get to choose where they want to go. Now, when I was married to their dad, it was the same thing. But I tried to make that not like, listen, talking about parents, I know I digress, but I always say, if we're still living in the same house, I don't think we will parent differently. If anything, we actually work together better now as parents than when we're living, because we couldn't stand each other. Well, I couldn't stand him, so I had to get a divorce. But anyway, listen, the guy is I digress. The point is, we co-parent because I always tell people, your love for your kids should be more important than whatever adverse feelings you have for your other parent, because it's not about you. They didn't choose for you to get a divorce. That's your choice. They shouldn't have to pay for your choice. But anyway, so we have a system, and I have primary custody, so they live with me most of the school year, where based on their grades is how they get to choose where they go. First of all, whether they get to choose where they go. And when I say grades, like, you must make all A's. Like, if there's a day TJ came home with a 91 in math, I said, how many people in your class have two heads? Nobody. Okay. So did the school cat take all the 9 points? And he was grounded. There was no video game until he brought that grade back to a 95. That's just the way it works. Because way back in Nigeria, all our parents, they all came first position with one way. So, but listen, I came for a second one time in Corona school. But anyway, so this year I told them, like, they had to, because this was TJ's first year in middle school. TJ's 11-year-old. And I said, if you not only maintain A's, but get exempt from all your exams for the second semester, then you could get to choose going to outside the country. And they kept their word. They kept their end of the bargain. Both of them were exempt from semester exam. Knock on wood. Thank you, Jesus. So I said, okay, now let's start planning Mexico trip, right? Y'all, the mother of the year award ain't going to go to me, because This mother just realized that their passports are expired. It's so funny because, yeah, their passports expired over a year ago. I still don't know why they give minors 5-year passports. I don't know. Besides wanting us to keep paying, but that's my dilemma right now. So I don't know. It is what it is. Don't judge. Keep your judgment to yourself. Okay. Let's see. I'll come back to. Yeah, I wanted to start earlier so that we can get more questions in. Let me see. Oh, there's a lot of questions. Okay, I don't want to miss any. Okay, so that's where I stopped. 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕, Biden didn't do anything. So that's where we stopped. Republicans are better. Okay. Yeah, listen. I ain't gonna. I do this work and I know what's going on. So, but everyone, I mean, it's America. Everyone has their right to decide. Upsee. People are actually getting 6-figure jobs with EAD. Absolutely. Where's the lie? No bigger truth has ever been told. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's liberating. Y'all don't. And people have someone like, well, it's not a green card. Okay. Do you understand that? To know that you can work legally, you can go to school, you can apply for jobs that you really qualify for. If you have a combo card of AP, you can travel and come back. Listen, you're not gonna wait till the day you get a green card to rejoice. Rapture can happen tomorrow. Are you gonna say, "Oh, Jesus, I have to go back and get a green card before you come back again"? Just saying. You have become part of some people's prayer point. Thank you. I truly do not take that for granted, and I truly appreciate that. It humbles me. I thank you. If you have an EAD pending and your 45 is denied, do you file another EAD? What will be the basis? This is forensics. What will be the basis of you filing the EAD? What's the ground? Because you have to have an eligibility ground for you to file. You all, if you need help in immigration or know someone who does, please reach out to Attorney Abdullah. She's a lifesaver. I'm humbled. I'm not a lifesaver. I just believe that God intervenes in situations that we never know. Just like the prosecutorial discretion we got yesterday, actually. Yesterday. Oh, yeah. I thought it was like 200 years ago. I mean, this guy ended up in removal proceedings because his abusive spouse actually called ICE on him. It wasn't like he was arrested for something. No, that's part of what she did. Told lies during the interview, got home and called ICE on this man. This man he's the only one left who has some income to take care of his mother. His mother is sick back home. Every single week, he's got to send money home for her medication. People, that's what immigrants are going through. And so for him to have that worry on his hands that he may leave, and we're actually scheduled for the individual hearing next month, August 4th to be precise. So God is an on-time God. God is an on-time God. And when I tell you that the ICE attorney that was on his case, he's the one who told me that I should not email him. If not, he would just cancel everything. Okay. But God is an on-time God. And to be able to give him that news, now we get his file transferred back to USCIS, and now he can actually apply for advance parole and go see his mother. I mean, God is an on-time God. It may not pan out the way we want initially, but I've never been more convinced in my life doing this kind of work that I do, that there are some things just don't make sense. But when God steps in, when God steps in, who dares to contradict what he decides? Listen, it's nothing that I know. I don't, yes, we go to school, we have knowledge, we review, we research, it ends up being gray hair. But I know that it's not what I know. It's what God gives me wisdom to be able to do. It's what God gives me wisdom to be able to do. And until my dying day, I would, that He may continue to increase, that I decrease. Because the day I believe, I begin to think that it's a power that I have, that's the day I begin to fail. That is just the way my brain is wired. And I start up my day when I get to my office. I'm on my knees and I say, God, it's another day. Give me the option to function. Give us all that which we're all looking for. Like I pray for my clients. I pray for people who are just looking for a breakthrough, that let Him meet us at the point of our needs. And at the end, let it make sense. It may not make sense while you're going through it, but as long as it makes sense at the end, when you look back and say, you know what? I thank God because things went out that way. You're not going to see NBC on the present times. Hi, Debsy. How are you? Hello. Okay. Thank you so much once more. It was worth the consultation. It feels great, peaceful, and hopefully then finally same month I go through with my case. You definitely a godsend. I remember Miss Dempsey, we agreed in faith. We agreed in faith. I still think you should get your whole file. You have to be in the know. Please, people, listen to me. You have to know what's going on in your case. You have to know what's going on in your case. I don't like to wait. If a client emails me for a copy of their files because they did not see or ignore the initial email, because I've had some people like, hey, I didn't get a copy of my file, and then I resend the email that I sent, like, oh, okay, I didn't look at it. Yeah. I don't want a client to ask me for a copy of their file. If I pass something, it is your right to have, by all state bars, you have a right to at least one complete copy of your file. Now, if you want additional copies, you have to pay. That's just what it is. In the state of Alabama, yes, we're allowed to charge you for additional copies. But you have to be in the know. You have to know what's going on in your case. You've got to know. But I rejoice with you. You have no idea how happy I am for you. And just knowing that you're going to be seeing your babies soon. If you know anyone who has immigration problems, she's the right deal. Use her. She's passionate and good what she does. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sister Lawyer, do you mean I can still be qualified for asylum because I've been in US for 6 years? So let me be clear. You're required to file asylum within the first year. That's a statutory requirement. However, there are some circumstances that based on those circumstances, you're able to file for asylum outside the 1 year statutory period. Keep in mind that unlike someone who files within the 1 year statutory period, you will be required to first prove that you've been able to overcome that requirement to file within the first year by showing that you had extraordinary circumstances beyond your control, or changes in your material changes in your personal circumstances beyond your control. If you're not able to overcome that requirement, the 1 year requirement, they won't get to your basis for asylum. They may tell you, yeah, you have credible evidence, but you did not file within reasonable time, or you did not satisfy, you did not show credible reasons that would fall within extraordinary circumstances. So in your case, Slick Touch Braids, you wanted to speak with an attorney and see what it's not just about having the grounds for asylum. Filing outside the statutory period means that you have to show why you did not file within the first year. I hope that makes sense. I have responded and I'm sorry for, okay, I'll check it later on. You're welcome, Ms. Dempsey. I'm so happy for you. You have no idea. I am so happy, but it's not every time. Like consultation sometimes gives you more information, and how you, especially for those who already have lawyers, how you can navigate asking your lawyer for what to explain to you. Now, there's some truth be told, there's some clients that they would bug you like till Jesus comes back. I have clients like that too. And that's just human nature. But for people like Ms. Dempsey that don't bother attorneys and don't even or feel like they're going to be a bother to them, asking someone to make you understand something is not a bother. Like I've been accused by colleagues of over explaining things, and I don't over explain. I want a client to know when you're signing a contract. I'll tell you, listen, if you cancel before we're done, because immigration cases, I charge a flat fee. My hourly rate is really high. It really is. That's why I charge a flat fee. But if you cancel before the end of the representation, it reverses my hourly rate, and the hourly rate is everybody's case is different. It's right in your contract. So everything is in. Then there's some things in my contract that it's in red font. You cannot miss it because I want you to know what you're signing. I want you to ask all the questions you want to ask. Because it's your life. It's you who's going to be paying. You have to know. And so sometimes Consultation is giving you the power to say, okay, or the knowledge or the sharing wisdom to navigate how you can get information, and also telling you, okay, you know what, you may have to wait, or this is the right category that was filed. So, just wait. If they've made an inquiry or asked them to make an inquiry, you just never know. Sometimes it's just, that's all it takes. How long does it have to take for one to be called for interview biometrics? On what kind of case? The guy wants to be a lawyer because he says he wants to go to Stanford. From his mouth to God's ear, speak it into existence. You got to speak it, that our kids can achieve above and beyond whatever their minds can. If your mind can conceive it, your hands can achieve it. There's nothing if my boys say they want to do something, we're doing it. Because it's not about you not taking the step. Take the step. Even if you don't succeed in it, that's okay. It's the not taking the step and living in what if. That's really the failure part. The failure really isn't you not succeeding. It's you not even making an attempt. But speak it into existence. If you speak it, you work towards it, God crowns your effort with success. That's all. So 𝒑𝒂𝒏 is going to be a lawyer and will one day come back and we'll gather at Stanford and say, yes, he spoke it as a young man and it came through. I like your glasses. It's beautiful. Thank you. Why is my I-130 still pending and my spouse got pregnant for another guy? It's not funny, but you want to consider maybe you qualify for FAR. I watch your program all the time and it really helps a lot of people, most especially our people. Thank you. What is your consultation fee? It's 130, 30 minutes, 245 minutes, 230, 1 hour. And if you retain my services within 15 days, those who will retain me within 15 days know we credit it towards the last scheduled payment. If you're paying upfront, then you get the credit. That reminds me, I just remember someone paid upfront and I have to get there and there. Hold on, people. Gotta keep them there. Gotta give them their receipt. What does it require to file for a waiver? You have Jarul for life. Go on our website, olalayalawfirm.com. You'll find all the information there. Thank you, Mr. Yoronke. I'm so glad you're feeling much better. He's an on-time God. Hey, he's an on-time God. I look back and I know. I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I started my law firm out of necessity. And when I tell you that no greater fear have I ever experienced in my entire life than when I said I was starting a law firm. But sometimes God makes people tell you no over and over and over and over and over again because he's got a plan for you. Because, I mean, I will come one day and share that. I tell you, you would. My life is a living testimony. You have no idea. I don't know if my mom is here. She will tell you. Can you file a VAD case while your form I-13145 is pending, please? If you're asking about switching over to converting from a regular marriage-based case to a VAD case, then I would. Can you do that? Yes, but speak with an attorney to know what you before you do that. I-45 reopen is 11 months now based on birth certificate. Should I reapply? When it comes to denial of I-45, like because you didn't have joint sponsor or your sponsor's tax or you missed the document or a medical whatever, because of the time frame it takes for them to adjudicate a 290B motion to reopen, and you have to wait for that to be done before you can now apply for EAD. Most 90% of the time, my clients, I always tell them, these are the options you have. If I had to choose for you, I would rather start again. Because if you're still going to pay $675, just add to it and start again and file everything. And if you've been waiting 11 months, that 11 months you probably would have had an EAD. So sometimes you just have to count your losses and say, you know what, okay, I'm just going to refile and make sure everything is included. But if you've waited 11 months, I'm seeing a year and a half. So you may be much closer to having it reopen. And once they reopen the 45, they will reopen your 765 as well. Is it best to continue to use them, or I can change due to nature of my past case and proximity? Attorneys, that's a subjective choice. It depends on what your experience has been. Right, family-based covering without biometrics. I'm not sure. I don't think so because 45 needs biometrics as well. 765, 131. But there's one thing. So I have a client who has his green card, but we just got notification today that his EAD has been approved. Like 𝒂𝒏𝒕. Like, but hey, we'll take it. Can someone who came across via Mexican border for humanitarian reasons with I-94 be eligible for? It depends on what you have to show legal admission, lawful admission. So, if you're paroled in, based on what, I would say speak with a lawyer. It's not a yes or no question, answer to that question. Can someone marry a lady that gets government benefits? Yeah, but keep in mind there are a lot of limitations as far as where you can live, how much they make. You're gonna need a joint sponsor. There's a whole lot that goes in that. There's a lot of people who do that, but a lot of people don't do their research. So do your research. My ex-husband has filed for VA. Can I file for VA? When you say ex-husband, so slick touch, do you mean that your ex-husband married somebody else based on abuse? He filed for VA. You're now married to somebody else, and you're thinking of filing for VA. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, Mickey, somebody said don't waste your time. There's a lot you've got to know upfront. Okay, is that what you're asking? Can I attain your green card holder through the file partner who lives here? A green card holder can file, but keep in mind you have that. I don't think it applies to VA. Yeah, I think there's an exception with VA applicant, VA green card holders. But if you're a green card holder and the person has overstayed, my main concern will probably be them being able to adjust, because they would not be able to adjust until you become a citizen without having to leave the country. Okay, I'm going to get to. Hmm. Yes, like I've waited that much already. Yes, that's what I would just suggest. If citizenship is denied, can one reapply? Yes, generally you can. However, it's important to um know why it was denied. What was the basis for denial? Okay, let me take some questions here, and then I think we're done. Hello, Miss Sarshard. I'm good. I believe you're the same person that I texted earlier on. If that's you, then that's the information we have. Miss Justin. I mean, let's be real. If you see the officer who denied your green card application, don't come at me with, "Oh, you're a Christian." Listen. I'm a work under construction. I'm a work in progress. I will always be under construction until Jesus comes back. So, am I come with that? Just leave it alone. But so Adeshri is telling you type 42. So 18 months is there. So if you're waiting 11 months, I mean, just because by the time you file a new one, before you get it out, waiting for EAD, it's you. And the funny thing is, you may get both at the same time. You may now start the new one and then they reopen. So, um, but if you had an officer that denied your green card application, and then you see that officer has a flat tire on the road, and Makbaro, how many of you will help the officer? You see an officer who denied your green card application, right? They have a flat tire, and you're driving by, and you because in your own back, that kind of face, and you see the person, "Hey, Miss Patience, how are you?" And you see the person, and you recognize them, and they need help with flat tire, but you denied your green card application. How many of you in the Madrila to help? Don't lie. No lying. Tell me. I will wait. Because there's sometimes you just ask Jesus for forgiveness. Like, can you explain the process of asylum and getting green card? Lady B, that's something if you want to set up a consultation, we do that. But you can go on USCIS.gov/asylum, and the process is how you can what makes you eligible for asylum, and you get an asylum status before you can apply for green card after a year of the asylum status. Thank you. Can work authorization come before prima facie determination? Yes. Yes. That's actually happened to a couple of my clients. So um you will help them. Okay. That's okay. Listen, some people are better Christians than I am, or better believers, Muslim Christians than I am. That's okay. I'm just telling you, me. It's gonna take, I mean, Jesus, I suck out like Abisola. You know better than that. Because I'm the kind of person who would even stop and go put a nail in the tire. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. I'm gonna stop to help them because I want to get to another tire and put a nail through it. Like, yeah. I'm just saying. Don't judge me. I'm just saying. I will. I'm okay. Hey, I will stop and help the officer and also remind him of it. No, 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 no. I will ask for forgiveness later on. but ain't stopping. What's the best advice you would give a couple before green card interview? Best thing I can say is to make sure you practice, practice. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised the kind of questions they ask you. Think, I've literally been in a mock interview with a couple. Like, really, they ask, and they were shocked for some of the questions that we practiced, and they came to ask, and they asked them. It's just practice. Know each other and practice, practice, practice. Okay. All right, people. Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you guys. I think I answered, yeah. So that's why I came on earlier, Lady B, so we can get all the questions in. And once again, if you need to contact our office, the number is 334-341-4475. You can text us to that number, send an email, visit our website, autolandlawfirm.com. And I truly, truly believe that all our stories end in praise. It's just a matter of time. I just don't, unfortunately, some of us have had family members who have been deported. But I just believe that God knows our journey as immigrants, and He's not going to, it's impossible for Him to forget His own, and it's impossible for God to watch you fail. Yeah, thank you, Michelle. All right. And just keep believing. You can't, I mean, what else would you do if you don't believe? You can't give up. We're Africans. We're it's we're not made to give up. We're Africans. And most importantly, we're children of the Most High God. All right, everyone. Until next time, I will see you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great remainder of your